Then when and how did you guys meet in the first place?
Tinder.
Tinder.
Yeah.
She was Korean, and we were in Dominican Republic. Was like, oh,
Do you want to tell? Do you want to? We were drunk.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. How long have you guys been together?
10 months now.
10 months.
Yeah. 3 months?
Yeah. 3 months.
And one of those months I was in South Africa. So we did like a long distance for a month and a half. Yeah.
4 years.
4 years. Are you married or
No, we are married.
you're married? Then when and how did you guys meet in the first place?
Tinder.
Tinder.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked on Tinder and she came over to Korea.
To Korea.
Yeah.
You guys started talking in December last year?
No, we started talking in
Yeah.
August last year. And then, we kept talking, then FaceTiming, then blah, 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 blah. And then it came to December and we got together.
So you guys started dating before you guys met
Yeah.
in real life?
Yeah. Do you want to tell? Do you want to? We were drunk.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we were watching rugby at
Yeah.
a South African bar in Hebonchon. I was watching rugby and I was really angry because we lost. South Africa lost. And then I don't remember exactly how we first saw each other.
그냥 제가 말 걸었어요.
말
네.
바에서
네네. 그냥 예뻐서.
예뻐서.
네. 그러다 이제 그냥 같이 놀고 막 롯데월드 데려가서 데이트하고 뭐 그러다가 이제
I have
사귀게
no idea
됐어요.
what he just said, so he might have lied. I don't know.
No.
Okay.
We met in Dominican Republic, and we met in a travel to the beach.
그러면은 도미니카 공화국에는 어떤 일로 가셨던 거예요?
저 사실 봉사하러 도미니카 공화국 갔다가요. 네, 가서 만나게 됐습니다. 네.
She wants some music like merengue, salsa, something like that. So I had to give her a USB with the music in that way.
Wow.
That was the first way we talked.
Alright, okay. Then what language do you guys speak when you guys talk?
English.
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 Yeah. My Korean is not good.
Not good.
No.
Are you okay with speaking English?
Yeah, she's very kind with my mistakes. So
He's very good at English. He thinks he's not as good as he is, but he's fluent. English.
Mostly English.
We try.
No.
Actually, Papago.
Because
So-
my English is bad, so
He's
sometimes
Korean, and I'm Afrikaans. So we both, English is our second language.
Yeah.
So we communicate in English, but I've been teaching him mine and he's teaching me Korean.
Then is there any language barrier, or do you feel frustrated because you cannot say what you think and you cannot say what
There
you
is.
feel?
Sometimes I want to talk about my thought more, but it's hard. So
He's an extrovert and I'm an extrovert.
Oh yeah.
But in English, he's an introvert because he tries to express himself and it's hard to express his thoughts and he's really intelligent. So it's really hard for him to express. I think for me too, sometimes if I'm talking, in the beginning it was fine.
Yeah.
And then now if you want to express a bad day or a bad emotion,
Yeah.
then suddenly it becomes kind of I have to say it again because it's sorry, can you say again? I didn't understand. So yeah, it has its challenges. Language is a big thing, yeah.
Okay. So you guys have any problem when you talk because of the language?
No, not really.
Not really.
Yeah, she can speak really well Spanish.
답답할 때 많죠. 답답할 때 많은데 잘 이해해줘요. 잘 기다려주고 이거 뭐였지? 뭐라고 해야 되지? 이렇게 물어보면은 잘 대답해줘서 잘 통하는 것 같아요.
So the next question is, what's the good things about being an international couple?
you first.
Me? Why you first? Go, babe.
다른 문화를 제일 빠르게 배우고 내 세상이 또 더 넓어지는 그런 게 있는 것 같아요. 뭔가
Yeah, I think for me, because I'm from another country living here,
Yeah.
it's been really helpful in having someone that can actually explain to me what's going on around me, and it's just kind of opened my mind about things in Korea. Being able to share the differences between culture, how we live our lives, how we do things, just mundane things that you wouldn't think are different, but they are completely different between our two cultures and language.
I can help you, you can help me.
I didn't help you that much.
Well, we have a lot of things because we have two countries that we can visit in two different ways to see the things. And for example, I really like the Korean food. So it's not like to have the same food. We have different things, different kind of things that we can do.
지금 남편이 말한 것처럼 문화적인 다양성이 훨씬 풍부하고 그리고 선택지가 되게 많거든요. 저희 같은 경우는 뭐 원하면은 사실은 도미니카 가서 살 수도 있고 사실은 또 부모님이 미국에 계셔서 미국도 하나의 선택지가 되기도 하고 또 다른 또 스페인어를 사용하는 다른 나라를 갈 수도 있고 사실 좀 열려 있는 것 같아요.
Then what about bad things? What about bad things about being an international couple?
Time zones,
Time zone.
different, like being apart for long periods of time.
And it's hard to convey the message I want to say.
Yeah.
It's like in Korean, I know what to say, but in English, it's like I don't know the word.
Language.
Language.
Language is definitely the biggest struggle, I think. And cultural differences too. I think the longer we date, the more we like see things that's like, oh, that's not how we do it, or you know, and then kind of adjusting and accepting each other's cultural differences.
어떤 문화적 차이 때문에 힘들었던 적이 있으신가요?
약간 있긴 있는데 뭔가 또 애초에 만나는 거 자체가 이제 그런 거 좀 극복하려고 하는 걸 서로 노력하기 때문에 아직까지는 뭐 괜찮은 것 같아요.
일단은 비자 네 그런 안정성이 사실은 뭐 미국 가도 사실 도미니카 같은 경우는 조금 더 좀 그래도 배리어가 낮은 편인데 한국만 해도 사실은 저희가 코비드 때문에 2년 동안 못 만났었거든요. 그런 부분도 조금 어려운 점이 있고 사실은 어딜 갈 수도 있지만 다 그게 돈이기 때문에 지구 반대편에 있었어가지고 그런 부분이 어려웠었던 것 같아요.
근데 지금은 결혼을 하셨으면 이제 비자 문제는 해결됐나요?
맞아요. 네.
Have you guys ever encountered any stereotype or judgment from others just because you're international couple?
Anya?
No.
No.
Not like verbally, but we get stared at a lot. All the time I see, like, it's normally women, Korean women. It's like Korean women will stare at me, like they stare at our hands and then they're like, it's almost like they look at me and they're like, why is she not Korean or why is he not English? You know, we get that, but like I said, never anything actually said to us.
I don't know. Not yet. Actually, only good experiences. Like, remember on the train, and then some like ajushi was talking. Like, I think people kind of stare sometimes. Doesn't really bother me. 'Cause I'm used to it. And here, like, I don't mind being different, and I think we definitely are different. So I think most people have been really nice. Yeah, kind of fascinated by like we're together.
Do your parents also know you guys are dating?
Yeah.
Mine do. Yours.
They know.
They know. I've met your dad for 2 seconds
didn't.
by accident.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You've never met my parents, but over FaceTime you've talked to my mum, my dad, my grandma, my sister's boyfriend, but never like in person because he's never been to the UK. Yeah.
What was their reaction?
My friends were like, are you sure that you can do the like long distance thing? My grandparents are a bit like, oh, you're meeting people off the internet that you've never met before, you know. But my mum and dad were completely fine with it. They were like, go for it, have your little adventure, meet your boyfriend.
Surprise?
Surprise.
Yeah, because she was Korean and we were in Dominican Republic. It was like, oh, something like that.
But they liked it, or?
Yeah. They love her. More than me.
More than you.
네.
Alright.
엄청 놀라셨죠. 엄청 놀라셨고 저희 어머니 아버지는 되게 전통적인 한국 분들이셔가지고 저는 이제 엄마 이제 남자친구가 생겼다 이제 몇 달 때 피부색이 어떻게 되냐부터 물어보시긴 하셨어요. 근데 저희 아버지가 남편보다 더 피부색이 까만 편이시거든요. 그래서 아빠보다는 밝다. 그랬더니 아 그래 알겠다. 근데 뭐 피부색이 뭐 더 어두웠어도 사실은 존중해 주셨을 거라고 생각을 해요. 네.
In my culture, it's really like everyone knows who's dating who and they meet each other. And I know Korean culture, it's like more like you meet parents when it's really serious. So my parents and my family knew for a long time. When I was in SA, we would video call with him. But then his parents, they don't really know about me too much.
아빠한테는 많이 얘기했는데 엄마는 잘 모르고 아직.
반응은 어떠셨나요?
딴 건 없었고 뭐 교회 다니냐 뭐 그러면 됐다. 예, 그 정도.
And thank you so much for the interview. It was really fun to talk to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.